And the books just keep on a-coming. Hey there, it's Care. Welcome to my take at the lake. Glad to see you back. If you're returning and if you're new, welcome. Pull up a chair. We're talking about books. Primarily for use in junk journals, but once in a while I get stuck. Keep it for my collection, tear it up to share. Keep it, share it, keep it, share it. There's a few of those in here. I'm not sure, but there's a few. We're going to be tearing up, for sure. So our friends of the library had their annual book sale. People from all over a 5-county region donate books, and the library donates books, and my mom went shopping for me. Yay, me. So we'll start here at the top with these beautiful Poets Corner, a knowledge cards deck of great poems. Now, I've said before, I'm a creative nonfiction writer, meaning I have all the tools in my tool belt that any other writer has. Story arc, character development, scene setting, suspense building, all those tools. The only tool that I don't have in my belt is I can't make stuff up. It has to be factual, based on the truth. Whose truth? You know, the truth is slippery. To me, creative nonfiction, factual stuff is on one end of the writing spectrum, and poetry is on the other, and never the two shall meet, I don't think. So often I don't understand poetry. I just don't get it. I love poets. Some of my best friends are poets. I just don't get what they do. But these are beautiful, and they're just little things, so perhaps, I might be able to figure out one of these. Oh, look, something else got stuck in there. Oh, this would be fun. Look at there. Forgotten English knowledge cards. This is from a different deck, of which I only have one. So, Gardyloo, spirited warning cry that once preceded the emptying of slops, bucketfuls of wastewater from an upstairs window to the street below. Hey, we're gonna pour crap down on you. Oh, look out for the water. This expression was frequently heard in the 18th and 19th centuries in England and Scotland, where a water closet was still referred to as a loo. I believe it still is it not? My friends in the UK, don't we still call it going to the loo? I'd love to have that pack. 2. And a beautiful color. Of course, these are purple. So beautiful. So what these have on one side are quotes, parts of poems or entire small poems. And then on the back, the source of the quote, where it came from, who wrote it, when, and information about the poet's life, which is awesome. So just by themselves, I think these would be wonderful to just tuck in to journals, especially the ones that I'm making that are all just purples. I have a writing journal going on, or that I'm collecting fodder for. I have a literature journal so I could pick my favorites out of those and just use these as tuck-ins. Nice little things to pull out and read. They don't have to be anything more than what they are. Of course, there's all kinds of ways to decorate these, alter these cards. There's Shanuki Arts Full Deck Challenge, and right now Mixed Media Morsels with Cat Hand. This year's prompts are all about altering playing cards. These would work just as well. So you don't have to have the traditional poker playing cards. Knowledge cards work, trivia cards work, game cards work. I imagine baseball cards would work. I mean, you could do just about anything. So there's a lot of different ways to use these. They can be used as book covers. Make tiny little journals using these as covers. You can hinge them together with washi tape and make an accordion book that you can then alter or leave it the way it is. If I find 4 that I really, really like, or 5 or however many, for my purple journal or my writing journal, I might just hinge them all together and make a mini little journal. to tuck in instead of a single card. So loads of possibilities in these cards. And of course, they're boxes. You know, they come with a built-in spine and a built-in cover. Super easy to make if you want to make a journal out of these. Hinge them together with your washi tape. You know, I probably wouldn't do very many because you're going to want to alter them and it's going to get thicker. Or just leave the box as it is and decorate that to coordinate with your journal. So you have a nice little journal and a home for it. Decorate the box accordingly. I'd probably put a little pull tab on here so it'd be easy to open. Open it up and pull out a beautiful little journal. Kind of like I did with my McDonald's, my McJunk food. The crazy creative challenge from Pam at the Paper Outpost last year sometime. I made a little journal from McDonald's wrappers, and it lives inside a mini McNugget box that lives inside the glass that it came in. I'll link the video below if you want to see it. I think it's a video. Yeah, I did a little flip through on it, so I'll link that below. But this could work the same way. Hinge your cards together and then just make the box that journal's home. Lots of potential. If you wanted to leave it, if you're into poetry and purple, just leave it the way it is. It needs no embellishment whatsoever. Decorate these as you see fit. Alter them, embellish them, and then you have a nice, beautiful, writerly purple, wonderful project. And then you have all these others left to play with. Thomas Hardy. This is so funny. It's plastic. The old way of doing things before it's almost like saran wrap. It's pretty. I've never seen a book covered like that. The Return of the Native by Thomas Hardy. He wrote the note July 1895. And it's in beautiful condition. Just beautiful condition. And because of its nice plastic cover, it still has its original dust cover. I love these older books with the flexible but hard cover. I don't know why. They just seem... They're fascinating to me. I love the way they feel, I guess. Beautiful shape. Everything's intact. Nicely aged. Beautiful book. Collected Sonnets of Edna St. Vincent Millay. This is, you know, again, the universe at play. I've never been much into Edna St. Vincent Millay. Of course, I've heard of her, and I studied her in grad school ever so slightly. But since then, I haven't really thought much of her. The last couple of weeks, YouTube has been feeding me writers' documentaries, and hers keep coming up. I may have even watched one or two. And in the same time period, Mom brings me this book. Cover's a little... needs a little love. But the pages are beautiful, not terribly yellowed or caramelized, as we say. Beautiful deckled edges. Copyright 1917 through 1941. For it being that old, it's in beautiful, beautiful shape. More poetry. So what could I do with this? This could be a writer's journal. Glue some of the pages together, make a writerly art journal out of it. You could tear the pages out and just tuck the poems in. various journal projects. Could be used as backgrounds for clusters and whatnot. If you have certain projects, I have a collection going about the moon, and so since this one starts out with the moon, and I'm assuming it has something to do with the moon, I might tear that out and put it in my lunar collection, my Moon Madness project. So you can find things. There's one here just about dreams or your mom, sweet sounds. So you could pull things as they pertain to projects that you have going on, and use them as tucks or backgrounds or pages, or beautiful edition Tracy at Tracy Fox Love Junk Journals. She's been making beautiful cinched. She takes old book covers and a collection of old pages and cinches them together, binds them with her cinch machine, with a spiral bound cinch machine. So these would make excellent additions to those kinds of projects if you're following along with her and making similar books. So even though I'm not into poetry and it's not that old or illustrated, there's still a lot of possibilities and potential in all these things. Carl Sandburg, Harvest Poems, $1.35. Harvest Books. Gotta love it. Tiny little poems. And again, if one was going to tear it apart, smaller poems would make beautiful backgrounds for clusters or toppers for clusters. Instead of a picture of, I don't know, say a butterfly, you could stick a poem on the top of your larger clusters instead of an image. It could be a tiny little poem. These things have, beautiful little, I don't know, that just make an interesting piece to a collage. I love this. I love that they've written in it and made some notes. Although I don't know why, the only two I've seen have said definition, and then Carl Sandburg from Harvest Poems, why do you need that when it's right here? I don't, talk to that person to understand why. He identifies. And then there's shorthand. Okay, for those of you who are brushed up farther on your shorthand than I am, I think that's an E, that down long, and then the CE, and a SET, SES. I have to get out my shorthand book and look. If you know, write it in the comments below what that says. He identifies as, and then they put it, he identifies, and then they put that and the rest of it in shorthand. So it's a secret. Now I'm going to have to go dig out my shorthand book and figure it out. Unless you know, throw it down below, because who knows when I'll get to that. Revolutionary Rapid Training Method, Dog Health and Care, Family Dog by Richard Walters. Mom said, she handed it to me, this comes with a warning. There's things in here you won't agree with, I'm sure, but it had some cool pictures of dogs. So yeah, old-fashioned training with choke collars and newspapers smacking on the arse and all that, or the nose, or rubbing dogs' noses in their pee. For fuck's sake, people, So it has nice pictures of dogs. So I'll probably cut this one up rather than suffer through it. Oh, look, old stuff. I always like to see if there's a date on any of these. Can't be that old. $39.50 for $59.50 for 2 years. It can't be that old because that's pretty high dollar. So anyway, we'll move on from that. Ancestor Trail in Ireland. Apparently somebody went to Ireland maybe several times, and she said there was a stack of souvenir stuff like this from all different places in Ireland. I love Ireland. I was lucky enough to go there and study for a semester when I was in Ireland. When I was in grad school. Hello. Right down here on the Dingle Peninsula is where I studied. Just a phenomenal experience. I have a small collection of books that I brought back from Ireland. So I don't know if this will go in there with that small collection, or if I might one day do an Irish journal. Maybe this would be just a nice tuck into that. I'm not sure how this one will be used, but I'm glad to have it. I love having the map, and I will certainly read through it and see what I can see, what more I can learn. So that's fun. The next three are just over the top amazing. Schiller Books, $3.98. There's $30 worth of paper there, so you know it's old. Although it's got the papyrus, so maybe it was from the 90s, because this was a really popular font in the 90s, so it might not be as old as I think. But concept and design in music. Leanne and I have talked a lot about this, how some of us gravitate to certain kinds of music versus other kinds of music, and a lot of it has to do with how our brains accept certain beats and certain combinations of beats. And there's a whole bunch of mathematics and design in music in a completely different way than we're normally taught to think about math and numbers and music. Usually we're taught that they're all very, very separate, and they're not. It's all one, like everything else. Everything works together. Anyway, huge book. And what I love about this is that it's not just pages and pages and pages of music like we normally see, like this, but bits and pieces of music, interesting pieces for collage fodder. I tried to read it and my mind melted. Well beyond my scope of understanding of math and this kind of design. I have a very keen mind for visual design and literary design, but music, things that I learned as a kid, I can still play. But to sit down and play something new, I could never do it because I refused to practice and learn to read the music. My mom was a pianist, and she wanted me to take, and she had me take lessons very early on. And my dad, father, being the shit that he was, but very talented, he said, "You want to learn music? You want to learn to play the piano? You come over here." And he taught me how to play, I don't know how many songs, just by rote memory and by ear. That's how he learned. And so he circumvented Mom's piano lessons. And as a kid, I thought, well, shit, now I could play the piano, so I don't need no stinking lessons or practice the chords or practice, what is it? I didn't have to do that because now I know how to play the music. But what a great book. Just bits and pieces. Again, such interesting fodder for collage and backgrounds for pages, not to mention all these great numbers. And you could cut this out and use it as a page topper, fold it in half as a tab. Beautiful symbols, again, all in that papyrus font. Great words and phrases. What a fantastic collection of things to play with. A Venn diagram, lists, and you know how I am about matchy-matchy and things coordinating. If I were to do a journal all about music, and let's say I made clusters or did background pages, I want the clusters and the text to be about music. If I were doing one on gardens and botanicals and flowers, I'd want the clusters and the backgrounds to reflect that. They would be from garden books or garden journals. They would have garden terms and whatnot on the clusters or in the backgrounds, so that everything is coordinated. All these different layers of connected material to make the end product just sing all that much more, so to speak. What a wonderful find. I wonder if 1992 is when it was purchased. Still $3.98. Well, it was on sale. Must have been a clearance book. Not really big into fashion myself. The Chronicles of Western Fashion from Ancient Times to Present Day. Look, big fun. Part of the library, so I can cut that out. Put in my ephemera box. Already beautiful black and white illustrations. You know, if one were into paper dolls, this book was probably $1 at the library's book sale. I'll put the ISBN here if you want that, because you could probably find this used on eBay or Amazon for $4 or $5, and you'd have a lifetime supply of paper dolls, many of them in color. You know, they don't have to stay together. Cut them out individually. Oh, the fussy cutting. You could, holy Hannah, you know, there's enough here to cut. So again, if I'm doing a purple journal, I would cut these people out if I wanted people in purple in my purple journal. The dates. Interesting numbers to add all the time. Different colors, different themes if you're doing a Victorian, because that's pretty big. You know, there's tons of Victorian stuff in here. Edwardian and French fashion and Italian fashion, and even guys, which is awesome because you don't get a lot of guys. You could maybe alter some of these to do some steampunk, some Halloween if they're doing masks. You know, if you're doing a Halloween theme, certainly all these things are beautiful costumes. Most beautiful figures and hats and accessories. And now we're in spandex and sweats 24/7. Yay for us. We've come so far. Anyway, wowzer. Wow. More than 1,000 color illustrations. So one could fussy cut until one's fingers fell off. Yes, indeed. And lastly, progressive word mastery. 8th year. This book has been loved and fixed and loved and fixed and wrapped and glued, and holy smokes, St. Mary's Catholic School. And this was number 16, and this has an old book smell, but like old school book smell, which is different than old book smell, different than old library book smell, old school smell, entirely different smell. I so wish once in a while we had smell-o-vision. Progressive word mastery. A lot of taping. See that piece of, it's like a fabric tape. It's almost like early duct tape. See what it does to the back. It's got acid in it and it destroys the page. This is why when you're doing archival work, you don't want to use masking tape or just any old tape. You want to use acid-free archival tape, because it literally goes right through the pages and will destroy pages. You know, in however many years. I can't seem to find a date on this. Oh, there it is. 1942. Notes to the teacher. First day. Second day. Third day. After that, you're on your own. Here, too. Masking, not masking tape. Scotch tape will destroy paper after a certain amount of time. See the shiny... Oh, it came right off. You see that? There it is. Came right off. It just leaves the acidic glue left. But they fixed that little tear. And almost every page has been taped or fixed. It's kind of like that 1954 cookbook that Mom found a while back, that was just loved beyond words loved. Helen Skiba, grade 6, number 32. Had this book. Look at it, eats right through. It's kind of nice. We hear about this, you know, if you're doing archival work, you hear about it, you know, that tape destroys things, but you never really get to see it. And here you see it with your own eyes. Everywhere there was a piece of tape has destroyed the page. And the Scotch tape gets yellow and nasty. It depends. I say yellow and nasty. You know, again, if this was going to be an archival piece, that's kind of nasty. But for junk journalers, isn't it just beautiful? It's just beautiful. So it's all a matter of perspective, right? Look at that. Property of St. Mary's School. I'd never be able to get that off of there. I'd have to just leave it. Yeah, look how sad. It's coming apart. Beautiful little illustrations. Agents for Paper and Twine. Oh, what a fun book. Some of their writing is in it. Making sure I know. So again, do I tear it up and use it and share it? Or do I put it with my vintage English books that little collection is steadily getting larger through this junk journaling process? I don't know. What do you think? Tear it and share it, or hoard it and keep it? Oh, look at here. A glossary, like dictionary. Oh, how fun. I don't know. Different kinds of tape. I keep saying this is the last haul. This is the last haul. This is the last haul. No more hauls. I got enough stuff. But I didn't ask for this. This was just delivered on my doorstep. So yay for me. You know, gift from the junk journal universe. My fairy junk journal godmothers keep sending me wonderful, beautiful toys to play with. And then I get to share them with you, and that's always fun, because I hope the whole idea of these things is to give you ideas of, because you're not going to find exactly this, but maybe you'll look for different kinds of cards in boxes that you can make journals from. Maybe you'll see a music book in a different way, or a book of poetry in a different way. That is all I have for you today. I hope that you have a lovely, lovely crafty day, wherever you are in time and space. Enjoy what you're doing, and don't forget to love up your beastlies. Give them extra love today, because you just never know what's coming. I'll take it to Lake. Out for now.